name is Patterson Nguyen. I'm with HNM Media. Today we're gonna talk about dyslexia, and I'm with GENNA. She has 12 years experience in education. Also, she's the owner of River Oaks Academy and IQ Vietnamese. Uh, on today's topic, we're gonna talk about dyslexia. I think is that right?
Yes, today's topic we're going to talk about like disability in learning, and so as my experience, so we encounter with a lot of people have disabilities in learning, so especially dyslexia and ADHD. There's a lot of kinds of disability in learning, but like the top two is like dyslexia and ADHD.
Can you tell me a little bit about what is it?
ADHD.
Okay, ADHD. Okay.
Yes.
So what is that?
So, like dyslexia. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about dyslexia first.
Mhm.
So, dyslexia is the disorder that the kids unable to focus in reading. So, like the language to them is just different from the normal people. They have a very impaired reading, like understanding the material, and sometimes when they read, they cannot just like read normally. Some words to some kids, the words has just been running around their head, so they unable to catch the words and understand the meaning. So dyslexia is like in no cure. It's just like lifetime, lifelong. But if we know how to help them, so the kids might be get out of dyslexia. So it's no cure, no medication needed, but it's like the whole process that we need to do it.
Mm. So is there any, I guess, exercise if you can't, I guess if you can't, is there exercise that you can do to help the
Yes.
disorder?
Yes, so dyslexia is like it's a disorder that the kids and the parents can help the kids to improve in learning. Sometimes the kids have very bad grades in learning, and then it's bring to attention that we need to diagnose the kids because they unable to comprehend the passage or the story. So they're able to read, but they can't just comprehend the questions or the main idea of the passage or the book or the story that they hear. They don't understand. They don't like give you the main idea or anything. So when you see the kids are like that, you have to take them to the doctor to diagnose if they are dyslexia or not, or they're just lazy, or they just like refuse to study. So there's like different resources that you can research and read about how to make your child better in learning, in reading. So dyslexia more likely in about reading, like more like focus in reading. And if your child had dyslexia, so don't worry, don't be panic. Just be patient with them. Like dyslexia kids need a lot patience. It's like 10 times more patience than the other kids, and you have to practice with them every day. Every day, keep contact with the teachers and take them to school after school programs, or to the teacher who help them with dyslexia. So right now, if you take your kids to dyslexia teachers who can help with dyslexia, is very expensive. They require a certified licensed dyslexia teachers. But if you don't have enough condition or to help your kids, you can take them to after school programs or like IQ with Line. Just to they are patient enough to help your kids. 1-on-one or 1 hour every day. I think it works.
And does public school have something for this, or it's a private school? What do you recommend if a parent does insurance cover it?
Yeah.
Or
So with dyslexia, so the public school and private school all offer. So the private school is more, like you have to choose the private school who cover the dyslexia kids, who have the special program that help your child in dyslexia or ADHD. But public school, they do have it as well, but it's not really good because they don't have enough, like people or certified teachers who can help your kids with dyslexia only. The most the public school they can do is like they just, modify the curriculum. So when they modify curriculum, the kids gonna learn in the modified curriculum, but the kids not gonna like concentrate in the technique how to how to read in Dylexia area. So instead, for example, like my child is like 8 years old, okay, third grade, but my child learning modified curriculum, which is like for first grade. So which is like the school let my child learn lower level than my child deserve. Like my child worth like third grade but study the first grade.
And that's what happens when you go to public school.
Yeah, that's what happened when we go to public school because that's how it works. That's how the system works. But if you go to the private school or the private institution, they will have a licensed teacher, a licensed who can help your child to improve in Dylexia area. For example, they can help you try to read, improve the vocabulary, speech, and focusing, and how to focus your mind when you read. So that's how the private school or the private institution in specialize in dyslexia and ADHD.
And does CHIP and the government insurance cover this type of plan?
If a private school, usually the insurance don't cover it, but the government, for example, if your child need a lot of help, and the public school don't give out the right help for your child, and then you see your child not improving. So the parents have the responsibility to go to the public school and request a meeting. They call ART meeting. So this the principal, assistant, teachers, everyone gonna sit down and then find out the best way for your child. So the parents have to read carefully, very carefully on the paper before they sign, because when you sign, it's very hard for you to take the kids out of the program because the government, and they have to apply all the paperwork to the government to get fund to teach your child. And you cannot just when you sign, you cannot just take them out. You have to. So that's why I'm saying you have to think really carefully before you sign. But if you see your child doesn't improve, right? So you have to request a meeting and then request them to move to the private school or another company who able to help your child to improve. So it takes a year, 2 years just to improve. To see your child's progress. And to me, the parents have to go along with the child very closely and consistently.
So with this, is there medication that they can take, or this is
No
something
medication taken for dyslexia. No medication, but the ADHD is a different story. The ADHD is your child might be hyper, or your child may be quiet, very quiet, or very very hyper. So usually most of the childs are very hyper. They talk a lot. And they just run around. They don't focus. They unable to focus. Not because of them, because it's the ADHD. They make them just some child. Okay, I encounter a lot of kids with the ADHD. Some kids are sitting down reading, looking at the computer or reading a book, but they don't focus. But some kids unable to sit down still, and it's just running around until when they are a teenager and it stop. It stop here. That means they don't want to run around anymore, but they have to sit down, but they don't focus. So ADHD, you need the medication a lot. You need to take them to psychologists, to specialist doctor, so they can diagnose your kids and then give out the medication. And of course, medication gonna got side effects. So you have to see what side effect that if the child endure that, or the child cannot take it. So medication is a big problem for the parents. Some parents say, if my child take medication and he don't grow, he don't eat, he can't sleep. Yeah, you have to talk to the doctor about it, because the doctor will need to know what your child's what the side effect of the like your child can take, and you have to talk to the doctors about that. So ADHD need a medication, but dyslexia don't need a medication, and it's no cure either. But they can change over time if the parents or somebody help them improve. So like I say, I have been teaching a lot of kids got dyslexia, and we went to the meeting, and the kids have a special curriculum. Like after school, they go to the after school program. They've been learning, practicing every day, and talking to them. Be patient with them. And now the kids get out the dyslexia program, so he become normal, and now he got straight A. So that is the very is like very like the example that I see it in front of my eyes. So dyslexia is not gonna be it's lifelong, but it's not impossible to get out. It's possible, and if the parents know how to help the kids, how to get the right people to help your kids gonna get improved.
Like as a parent, what's the best way for a parent to help the kids?
Be patient. So as I say, it has to be patient because if your child get bad grades in reading, and then you go home, you yell at them. You don't know they have dyslexia or not, right? You go home, you yell at them, and the kid's gonna get very frustrated, and they become like, depressed, and which is really bad. I saw that as well, and so that's why I always tell parents if the kids fail consistently, consistently in reading, you should take your kids to diagnose. If the teacher, or if a doctor diagnosed your kids got dyslexia, so you have to be patient. Change the way that you educate your parents, your kids, because when you change the way you educate your kids gonna be more confident. So you be patient, your kids gonna be more confident, and when they more confident, they're gonna be better. Like talk to them, and study with them. It's a long
It's a long
process.
process.
Yeah, long process that you have to do with your child.
So they said that when you have this dyslexia, you read word backwards, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
You'll
sometimes
see-
you read backward, or sometimes the word just like running faster than your eyes.
So they'll see a sentence, but then they'll skip a couple words, and then
Yeah.
they'll come back, and they'll come back.
And ADHD is like you can't focus.
They can't focus.
They can't focus. They can't focus at all.
As in focus or sitting down.
Well, even they sit down, they don't focus as well. Yeah, so that's a little bit difficult for the kids, and I feel really sorry. And then when I see the kids like that, when I know that the doctor diagnosed the kids with the ADHD or dyslexia, so I'm very patient. I'm very patient with the kids. Talking to them, give them a lot of help. Like you need a lot of help. Sometimes when you do math, you have to give the calculators to them, even though they're 7th grade, 8th grade. But you still have to give them calculator because they're unable to do math fast like normal people. But when they have the foundation, they got the motivation, and they build confidence in them. And one day, just one day, they're gonna get better. That's a magical that you gonna see your child improve a lot. And that's what I see. That I see people around me who got the kids at ADHD and dyslexia. They improve, and they improve a lot. Yeah, if the parents study with them, be patient with them, care about them, and talk to them. Sorry. Sorry.
So I guess for me, for after school program, what do you guys work with them on?
So the after school programs, so if dyslexia kids, right, we have a program that can help dyslexia kids with help in reading, vocabulary, focusing, divide the paragraph to the small paragraphs, underline the words, and asking them the central idea, the main idea, asking them if they connection to them, the connection with the story. And it helps the kids. So sometimes it has to be private one-on-one. Like private help the kids a lot. for Dylexia kids. Like just you and I teach your child, and your child's just like focus in it, and that is which is good. ADHD, if your child's got, if the kids got them medicated, they will get improved because they focus, and when they focus, they can learn. Yeah, but you don't drink medication entire life. What sometime one day you the kids gonna get better, focus more, understand more material in school, and you don't need to take medication anymore.
So it's
Yeah.
just practice and time,
Practice time, patience.
and then helping will be like dividing the paragraphs. I heard that people have to squint one eye, look at one eye, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like depend on the kids who
Yeah.
some kids like don't want lights, don't want the too much light, or some kids like don't want noise,
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different kids symptoms that we can see, and then we have to take the kids to the doctor. As I say, the sooner you discover your kids, the better your kids gonna be.
So it's good. There's insurance that can help. Private schools.
Oh, the ADHD, the insurance can cover. The ADHD is just like a disorder that the insurance can cover on the medication in the doctors. Or the Dylexia, the insurance cover on the doctors as well. On the medical stuff, the insurance cover, but on the education, the insurance don't cover.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's just like we have to pay out the pocket for the kids who need help.
so I just want to thank everybody for the show today on disability and learning.
Yes.
And thank you, Gina, for all the experience that you kind of told us today.
Yes, thank you, Patterson, for hosting me about this. And Gina, I want to thank you, everybody listening. And if you have any questions, you can email me and or text me. So the phone number is on the screen. You can text me or call us about, you can text and call and, inquire about learning disability. And we have private session for ADHD and Dylexia. We have a private school. We have all the material and resources can help your kids to improve. And it's just like a long process. And I know sometimes it's hard, but it's durable. Like you can go over it. And I hope that this show can help your like the parents understand a little bit more on your kids. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.